Pac-Man deserving of opportunity? Who doesn't? It's
His
the
name is
American
Adam.
way.
That's what y'all told me.
The athlete formerly known as Pac-Man. It's the American way to
So
give
what do
a
you
person
think he
another
fits in terms of the secondary?
No. I really think that if Adam Jones really is going to make a contribution to the Bengals, he better learn how to play special teams because he's not going to crack the starting lineup.
No, he's going to be a good nickel.
I don't think so.
Why don't you think so?
Well, the Bengals drafted Brandon McKee from Wake Forest, and I don't really see him taking his spot.
They drafted him this year?
They just drafted him in the third round.
Pac-Man's going to beat him.
I don't think he's going to take his spot.
I think he's going to beat him nickel.
And I also think if Pac-Man really wants to contribute to the team, he needs to do it on punt returns and kickoff returns.
But the punt returns wasn't that bad last year, I believe.
No, but Pac-Man is a great punt returner. He's good.
From the previous year in Dallas, he sure wasn't.
I mean, but that's a half a season. But that's not a real dedicated. That's not a real dedicated season for him. He's coming off suspension, things that sort.
He's been out the league about three years, right?
In one season.
Well, no, I don't count the Dallas season. I mean, that's just bypass the Dallas.
But according to
about 3 years, that's when he was good. You know, so special teams is out the window.
But according to the Cincinnati, I mean, they ran him out. They said he was very impressive. Look, his speed was still there. So
what I'm saying is he's good for a nickel in the AFC because the slot receivers are smaller and quicker. Pac-Man is real quick and he's low to the ground. He fits well as a nickel. The guy they drafted from Wake Forest, he's not an ideal nickel cornerback. You know, now you have Hall and you have
Joseph.
I think Joseph's going to leave soon. He's going to get actually that max dollar that he can't afford. That's the reason why they drafted the guy from Wake Forest. I mean, you got to also look at that salary cap kicks in. You can't keep all the great players that you want.
Well, I don't think Pac-Man's going to really do a whole lot. I mean, come on now. We're talking about the defense that really struggled at the end of last season.
I'm not saying he's going to do a lot, but as a nickel, you're not asked to do much.
It's a 2-year
bet.
Well,
I think as a nickel, he's also going to have to learn how to play some special teams.
Yeah, he's going to actually learn to play some special teams, but he's going to start at nickel.
We'll see. We'll see when the season starts.
Hey, I tell you what, they ran T.I. out of Cincinnati. They'll run him off. He acts stupid in them clubs. But anyway, y'all mentioned the Raiders earlier and comparing them to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders, they released Jamarcus Russell here recently, and they got Jason Campbell as their quarterback. And they're excited about it out there in Oakland. I read the Sacramento Bee, and they're really hyped up about Jason Campbell.
Man, we got a lot of Twitters that was on Jamarcus Russell's side. I mean, that's – go ahead. Why don't you read a couple of them to us, Ray?
You guys are amazing. First of all, let me make my – why y'all don't want me to make my Jamarcus Russell comments, man? Ryan Leaf was a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell.
I don't think you can label Jamarcus Russell a
We
bust
got a
yet.
couple tritters about Jamarcus Russell. He up there knocking Haynesworth voice.
Well, first of all, Leaf wasn't really – Russell's a bigger bust than Leaf. Leaf, I'll break it down. Leaf was emotionally, not ready for the league. He was too young. Marcus Russell didn't want to.
How old was Leaf when he was drafted?
No, emotionally. I didn't say age, just emotionally. Like he was a kid. He was a kid. You know, Russell got the money. He didn't want to play football. Russell's the type of person that I don't think he really ever liked football. I think that he was forced to play football just like Ricky Williams growing up. He was good growing up as a kid. He liked it. Eventually, he stopped playing football. You can watch his work ethic sucks.
I think when he came out of LSU and a quarterback has an issue with weight, why would you draft him? How does a quarterback have weight issues?
So I'm saying he never really cared about playing football, and that's the problem. But Ryan Leaf was that he didn't have a mentor. He was too young, like he was a savior. He jumped in as a starter.
He was too immature
exactly
to really accept the role of a starting quarterback.
To be fair, on Jamarcus Russell's side, he did go to the Oakland Raiders. That's the most unstable franchise in the NFL.
We can label him a bust early, but I think you need to give him at least a little bit of
But even Andrew Walters said if you could have put Peyton Manning in that team, and he would come out not being Peyton anymore.
Okay, I'm just saying. I saw the special you saw.
But I'm not done yet. But if you look at it, I mean, like Fish just said, Jamarcus Russell. I mean, his career's not over yet, so we can't label him a bust right there. But Ryan Leaf, his body of work is pretty much done. 4-17 as a starter.
Ryan Leaf wasn't number one draft pick.
But he was fighting for. He's number 2. He was fighting for.
Number 1 now.
I mean, granted, number 2 is not far off.
Quarterback bust. That's what we talk. No matter if you number 1 or
number 2. It is number 1.
Then you got.
So Tim Couch is a bigger bust than Ryan Leaf because he went number 1. Is that what you're saying?
Tim Couch had an injury problem.
Then you got Jamarcus Russell as a starter with 7-18. I mean, with the Oakland Raiders staff that when he got there. I mean, we're talking about Cable, and you had like Art Shell and folks like that around this time period. So, I mean, he didn't have an opportunity to truly succeed.
What did you say his record was again?
7-18.
Okay. Did you forget about the Raiders' defense was pretty good too?
I was at 7-18.
I think that record does not talk about his offensive.
He held out for a year too. Remember that, like a jackass.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He didn't care about football, and he still doesn't care about football. The year that he held out, he came back. He was supposed to be playing a little bit better. That next offseason, that was supposed to be the year that he was a turning point. He said, I'm going to work harder. He never worked harder. He was still out of shape. He still was the last person in, first person out. As a quarterback, you're supposed to be a leader. He was never a leader. He does not care about football.
Yeah, all these traits that they keep, pretty much exaggerating now is stuff that they knew about when they drafted him.
Exactly.
So it shouldn't come as a real big shot of the situation he's in.
But the same thing you're saying about Ron Leaf not being emotionally stable. You can say the same thing with JaMarcus Russell. He's not emotionally. He wasn't mature enough to be in the NFL right now. He came out early. You can say the same thing about both. That's what a lot of times when you're a quarterback and you are getting labeled a bust and you act a certain way. A lot of quarterbacks who are busts are not ready for the NFL in terms of emotionally and mature.
I think that's the reason why a lot more franchises prefer a senior quarterback. Of course,
and I totally agree.
Because the percentages of junior quarterbacks coming out and actually succeeding is nowhere close to when seniors.
Okay, but looking at Ryan Leaf, you see him spazzing out in the media. That's what I'm talking about. He's young-minded. He wasn't ready for the league. JaMarcus Russell, he never spazzed out. He was always an adult. So he was mature in the media aspect. He never really blamed his players. He never blamed his running back, his coaches. He never said anything negative. But look at his work ethic. He was never there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying as a bust. I mean, he has the talent level, but he never had the desire to be better.
You say the same.
Well, you can say that maybe if Peter went to a better structured organization, he might have improved over time. But with the Raiders, I mean, they're pretty.
So, do you think someone's going to re-sign him?
Oh, you want to?
Why wouldn't they?
Most definitely.
Do you think he's going to be able? Do you think he's going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL?
I think if he can go to the right team
and sit for a couple years, I think he has an opportunity.
Maybe actually develop.
No, but what I'm saying,
he might have a chance.
See, you said chance, but you say
I think he'll have an opportunity.
So you think he'll start again?
If he can sign with a veteran quarterback.
I mean, once again, it's very simple. I mean, is this a yes or no question? Do you think he's going
to?
No,
with the right team. If he gets on the right team, yes.
Well, so you think he's going to start?
When he gets the right team,
I guarantee you, in about 3 years, he's out of the league.
Hey, it wouldn't be a surprise.
I think he's out of the league. I think some of the commentators, Charles Lee, used to former GM for the Washington Redskins, say I wouldn't draft him. I'm not drafting. I mean, I wouldn't even sign him.
Charlie Cassidy. He's so good.
Is he going to get another chance? Of course. Someone's going to think they're going to be able to get something out of him.
Ron Leaf got a second chance for the Dallas Cowboys.
Ron Leaf got 3-4 chances.
Yeah. You know why? Because they think I don't think he was as bust as Russell is. I mean,
he was more skilled than Russell.
Yeah, if you listen to it, if you really listen to the commentators, they talk about Leaf and they talk about Russell. People never, after he left San Diego, they didn't say, "Oh, he can't play in the league." Russell, they say he should be gone.
His accuracy is terrible.
I mean, do you realize they say he should be gone? He's only been in the league 3 years.
But they always say like
someone's going to give him a chance
because his tools are so good.
Someone's always going to be a sucker for his arm.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is
Jeff George had found the same way.
But
Jeff George was good though. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that
I got him as Heath Schuler.
Hey, y'all can chime in on this discussion at www.twitter.com/urbansportscene. And we got some Twitter hits today, and they were discussing JaMarcus Russell. One interesting one I wanted to read real quick was in college, JaMarcus Russell had plenty of weapons and a good defense. Heck, LSU had a great program. What do y'all think about that?
I think JaMarcus Russell got lucky in college, for real. He wasn't even supposed to be a starter because he was so lazy in school that he pretty much benefited from injuries at the quarterback position.
JaMarcus Russell, I watched him in college. He was good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he was good. But the game that made him the #1 pick was the Sugar Bowl. And to be honest, that's made him leave college. He was not thinking about leaving college until he threw a couple good bombs. To be honest. He wasn't ready for the league. I mean, the league forced him out. I mean, that's what happens when you have a great game and and everyone's watching. Why not leave? And in his combine, I mean, he can throw 70 yards in the air. But doesn't mean he can find someone.
And plus, also, you think about it. I mean, in terms of quarterbacks, it was him and Brady Quinn, so it wasn't that many.
It was a weak draft.
It was a weak
draft that year. It was a weak draft.
And we also got to realize who was picking the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah, definitely.
Raiders are a sucker for a player.
Strong arm.
Well,
Raiders are a sucker for a player.
That's the next point because on Twitter, Dallas Cowboy Blue on Twitter says that Rusty was a bust. He saw it coming, but it's too bad that he had to go to